Good evening to everyone who has joined, and thank you so much for joining today's session. We are so glad to have you here for the special Decode Age webinar. Today's conversation is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about understanding what actually matters when it comes to long-term health. Because most people don't have the health problem, they have a clarity problem. And to guide us through this conversation, we have the perfect guest with us today, Dr. Arpit Bansal. With over 15 years of experience, Dr. Arpit is an advanced laparoscopic surgeon, gut specialist, and someone who has spent years working closely with health, recovery, and long-term well-being. He brings a grounded, practical perspective to today's conversation on healthy aging. Can't think of a better person to lead this conversation. So, Dr. Arpit, thank you so much for joining us on today's call.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. Looking forward.
Absolutely. Since we have already waited for some time, do you want to quickly, dive into the conversation and
Yeah,
have
let's start, I think. Let's start.
Wonderful. So first of all, I think we should begin with the most important question because I think people here don't know the full story about you. So take us back. How did the whole journey start for you, and what made you so much get deeper into longevity, gut health, and everything beyond, which is, Operation Theater, which is your niche.
So thank you so much, Decode Age, and thank you so much, everybody who's here attending. Let me take you inside the operating system. As a cancer surgeon and a laparoscopic surgeon, I was removing tumors every day and successfully for over a decade. But a question kept on disturbing me inside that why did this tumor grow in the first place? And because I was happy removing the surgeries, I'm doing the surgeries, removing tumors, rectifying hernias, but I was a person always interested in root cause healing. So my mind kept on going that surgery removes the disease, but what it does not remove the biology that actually created it. And that's where my personal journey shifted. I didn't leave surgery. I'm still a surgeon. I just moved upstream into gut health, into metabolic health, into longevity, and into your nervous system reset and recovery. Because if you fix your internal ecosystem early, then you don't have to fight disease later. And that's what medicine or surgery removes disease. Longevity removes the conditions that created it.
Well, on that note, honestly, I was doing my research today and I went through your profile and had this pause and just I was staring at the screen because you are a hospital director, surgeon, you're a TED Talk speaker, content creator, scuba diver. It's like a lot. And I needed a moment to process it. And I know everybody who has joined this call would relate to it because we are all juggling family, health,
Yes, absolutely.
15 other things, right? And you somehow seem to have figured out the secret. So please tell us, like,
Yes,
how did you
definitely.
crack it?
This is the question which most people ask, and I'll start with the biggest misunderstanding with people living in this chronic red mind world, multitasking, as you rightly said, is
Yes.
misunderstanding that it's about time management. You also intend me that to ask me that how do I manage time for that? But here
Mhm.
I'll tell you that it's not really about time management. It's about energy management. And our life system runs on three systems of energy. One is your mitochondrial energy, one is your nervous system recovery, and third, which you mentioned in the beginning, mental clarity. And most people today are stuck in the chronic red mind or chronic sympathetic drive. That is the stress, reactive, always on the edge, and always on the edge, anxious. Also, that's the chronic sympathetic drive, and I call the red mind. While the other is the blue mind, the calm, focused, and we also talk about flow state where your productivity goes skyrocket high. So we are
Yeah.
trying to perform in life while living in a chronic red mind, and that's the real problem. We don't need more time. We need a better nervous system, and we need to train and understand our own micro flow state and then macro flow state, and then time becomes plenty. I do juggle between so many things, but I've cracked the flow state. I enter into it every day consciously, and that's where I can do so much more. And I still have more time. I don't have time paucity ever.
fantastic point. But at the same time, when we talk about so much about mind and health connection, there's one thing that a lot of people keep asking is the biological age and chronicle age, chronological age, sorry. And there is a huge buzz about it. So,
Right.
when what does it mean for a normal person? And for you, since you have mentioned that at your age you can do 50 other things,
Yeah,
what would
absolutely.
a
So people
35?
need to understand. Yeah, very good question. So people need to understand that your chronological age is your birthday age, your calendar age. And while your biological age is your cellular age or cellular condition. It depends on your inflammation, it depends on your insulin resistance, it depends on your mitochondrial function, it depends on your hormone, it depends on your recovery. So like two people, I'll give an example. At 40, one can have a biology of 30 and the other can even have a biology of 55. And the most dangerous part is this happens silently. Aging is not just about years, it's about how your cells are functioning. These days with the gadgets like I'm wearing Gabbett, I'm wearing Whoop, Ultrahuman, various gadgets, and plus blood age with AI, you can add more biological markers and get your biological age. And with simplistic Whoop age, just by wearing a device, by calculation on your recovery, your sleep, your daily steps, your VO2 max, it gives you a predictive age. So I'm about to be 40, but my Whoop age is 31. It is 9 years younger. And that I'm not talking about blood age, but this is the Whoop which is daily trackable. So aging is not about the years, as I said, it's about how your cells are functioning. And we are in an era where we all can optimize it and make it spectacular young.
Yes, and since you have mentioned that you are so much younger than your chronological age, I want to mention that if somebody wants to actually understand their health, where their health stands, and step beyond this whole blood test once a year, what should they really be looking at, and what are the biomarkers are actually worth tracking?
See, for biomarkers, basically one thing is blood test annually is a very like underrated statement. We need to do our blood tested more than annually, first thing, and we need to measure the right markers because for example, lipid profile doesn't give you a real health about lipid. You need to understand your apolipoprotein B, apolipoprotein A, little a, homocysteine levels. More important, so let me give you five basic pillars which all of us needs to be tracking. Number one is
Yes.
metabolic health. Metabolic health, we need to understand our basic ones: HbA1c, fasting insulin. These are simple ones. Then your body inflammation, because root cause of all diseases including cancer and root cause of aging in itself is inflammation. So your inflammatory marker HSCRP, very cheap, and everybody should be testing it frequently, I believe. Number three is your hormone health. Depending on whether you're a female or male, testosterone, estrogen plus thyroid, they all play a crucial role. Number four and five are the most crucial ones, which I would say, which requires the help of these gadgets, the Gabbett ring or the Ultrahuman or the Whoop, and that is your VO2 max, number one, because it's like a report card of your cardiovascular health. And along with VO2 max, you can measure your resting heart rate again, which no annual blood test gives you these three most important parameters. That is your VO2 max, your resting heart rate, and number five, the point was your HRV or heart rate variability. Heart rate variability is really the real report card of your nervous system. Whether we were talking about whether you're stuck in a chronic sympathetic red mind mode or a relaxed, calm parasympathetic mode. So we need to understand that we cannot remove the stressors in our life: environmental stressors, nutritional stressors, work stress, life stress, financial stress. So we need to make our nervous systems and our body in return resilient. And high HRV means a resilient nervous system. Low HRV means a less resilient or a nervous system stuck in the red mind. So this is, and these are like you should measure trends with these variables. So these you can do it your own self, and it is a very individualized approach. For example, as a surgeon, as a gut health doctor and a cancer surgeon, people walking into my clinic, if I do the right surgery, if I do the right medicines to treat the disease, but if my patient's mindset or my patient's nervous system is stuck in the red mind and his HRV is low, then his surgery will fail, then he'll have recurrence, then his cancer will come back, then his root cause inflammation is not going if his like nervous system is stuck in the resilient, in the low resilient red mind or the chronic sympathetic drive.
Yeah. So since when you were explaining all these markers, you have also mentioned hormones, and this question came up so many times when the registrations were going on. So this is something that everybody, I think most of the people who has joined have asked. So they have said that I always feel tired. I don't feel like myself, and I don't recover well like I used to. So my question to you is, what's really going on there, and how much of this is linked to hormones, especially testosterone and estrogen, once we have crossed the line of 30?
See, that's a very common assumption. Every patient walking into, so it's again a 360 approach. You can't just pinpoint that to hormones. First of all, fatigue or low energy is not laziness. It is a biological signal which your body is giving you. And usually it's a combination of poor sleep, hormone shifts, which usually happen after 30 years, mitochondrial inefficiencies, and chronic stress, which I'm talking about, chronic red mind, being in. So true healing, true longevity, true biohacking, true life, true creativity, true happiness is based in a life where it is based in the chronic blue mind or the parasympathetic overdrive. So real life is lived when you're not trying to control things, especially which you can't. For example, war condition.
Yeah.
We need to enter our red mind or our sympathetic drive consciously to do things which we can control. And for things which we cannot actively control or do something about it, we should stay more in our blue mind and live our lives well. And recovery is the key, because without recovery, energy collapses. And I would simply say that people who feel tired, they are not tired because they are busy. They are tired because their system is not repairing, and we are not following a 360 approach. Taking one supplement, doing one thing right never works. You need to do it, and that's why the system which we are discussing slowly, in towards the end, you will get a more clear idea what is the exact system. But
Yeah.
that's my answer to that.
Absolutely. So, on a lighter note, because you have been in the journey of longevity for a good amount of time, so when you got into it, what were some of the myths that surprised you? Like people do think that they are doing it for healthy reasons, but they are actually harming themselves.
So, like, see, first of all, the basic myth is nutrition, I would say. People believe
Yeah.
that nutrition. So, like, basic thing, your body, we believe that we have to take care of one body. So, I give a four body framework. That basically we are, once we die, we are aging, we are thinking about our physical body. So, you need to think about your physical body or the earth body, then your
Mm-hmm.
emotional body or the water body, your air or the mental body. We'll talk about it in a while, and your fire or the spiritual body. And from a science based angle, how you can work on it. For example, let's start with physical body. Physical body, the first thing is cellular hydration. We need to cellularly hydrate, and that's not just about drinking water, that's about consumption, the right electrolytes, and overall 360 management. Number two is nutrition. And nutrition is usually so confusing, right? People get
Yeah.
confused by these keto fasting and so many fad diets. So nutrition becomes confusing when we start to chase trends instead of our understanding our own biology. That is why in this era we need to do gut microbiome test to understand which good bacteria are there in our gut, and eat ideally according to our gut microbiome test. And then that will be you will be consuming the right non anti-inflammatory foods. So, and then obviously there is VO2 max, there is for muscle health. Muscle is your key longevity organ, and sleep. So this is
Yeah.
a basic framework which need to do for earth body, your cellular hydration, gut health, VO2 max, muscle, and sleep. These five things for your physical body.
Yes, since you fully got like you dove into it, so I just want to confirm, like since we have also spoke about tracking and biomarkers, what does your own personal routine actually looks like? Like what are the supplements you are taking, and how do you track if it's working or not?
See, important thing is I can tell you my routine, but the thing is you will not be able to do it, and so it is very individualized. The
Yes.
my mainly non-negotiable basics. Let's start with the basics. Is
Yes.
sleep. Sleep is my number one priority.
Hmm.
I literally guard my sleep more than I guard my money. Number two is strength training. Strength training, like at weekly intervals, ideally alternate day, is non-negotiable. Number three is sunlight before phone. Before you touch your phone in the morning, go and look at the sun. Number four is cellular hydration. I have my bottle next to me all the time, and it is I you keep sipping water. It's not about loading water. Number five, I already spoke about gut microbiome. So I usually keep testing my gut and eat according to my gut microbiome. So I'm consuming anti-inflammatory foods so that I'm not aging first. And then number six, which is the most crucial, which I talk about, is the nervous system reset. I actively shift into the blue mind, and through that into my flow state every day by water immersion. I'm bringing something unique to the world as underwater meditation, breath work, nature, grounding, running, so many things. So we'll come to our supplements in a bit, but where the recovery actually happens is that we need to understand that recovery is not passive. It's the biological process which we need to trigger.
Yes, but you have also mentioned about gut microbiome, and I think a lot of people who are they don't know, and there's so much buzz about supplements out there. So if you have to explain somebody in basic terms, few
About
things
the
that
gut
they
microbiome.
must do.
About the gut
Anything.
microbiome? Yeah.
Yes, you
So like
can.
about the gut, first of all, yeah, we need to understand that we are made up of 37 trillion cells, but there are so many bacteria which are living in our gut, skin, and various other places, which like are up to 5 to 10 times more than our human cells. So, and we are a super organism. Every food particle we eat is actually being digested by a different food supplement, by a different set of good bacteria. So we should ideally eat according to your gut microbiome, and because then so either the food is getting absorbed by the good bacteria which is there in our gut, or it is becoming inflammatory. So arthritis, cancer, inflammation, all these things ultimately build up and cause inflammation, and that's what we need to avoid if we are talking about aging and longevity.
Perfect, perfect. I mean, even I got so much clarity from this. So one more thing, if since I have also asked this question previously, but I just wanted to understand if somebody is starting today, like for example, if I'm starting today with my supplements, what should I take and how I should track, like if it's working or not, since you also mentioned every body is different.
See, if you want the core foundation about supplements, let's talk now about supplements. The
Yeah.
core non-negotiable one we need to number one understand is vitamin D3 K2. That's my number one non-negotiable supplement, because most Indians, even I go outdoors a lot, but still you should ideally test it. Most people will be vitamin D deficient. And like vitamin D is not just a vitamin, it's a hormone, and it's people believe it's just for our bone health, but it is a boon for your gut health. The Akkermansia, the best colonic bacteria, they thrive on vitamin D3, but it has to be always given with K2. So that is my number one. Then number two is magnesium. Magnesium, we were talking about recovery and
Yeah.
stress management. So from recovery, there are seven different types of magnesium. Decode Age actually has one of the best magnesium with seven different types, and it's one of my non-negotiable in the night. Then number three non-negotiable is omega 3. Again, Indians specifically, but even non-Indians are very imbalanced in their omega levels. So it is essential for your brain health. It is essential for your inflammation. Then protein adequacy, because we spoke a little bit that muscle is our longevity organ, and it is critical for muscle and overall our hormone balance. But we need to do it ideally according to our gut microbiome. Take proteins which suit us. We may be lactose intolerant, so we need to avoid milk. That is very individualized approach, but protein adequacy is super important. Then, so this is the core basic level which I'm saying. And
Yeah.
creatinine, again, very highly missed supplement. People believe that it's only for workout. Even my wife and so many people, we talk that it's only for people who train, who go to the gym, but it is so wrong. If you want, it is good for your muscle health, it is good for your brain health, it is good for your endurance, it is good for your sleep. On sleep deprived days, actually, I take more creatinine because it is beneficial for your muscle, your brain, your and you're even so many things. So creatinine is again one of my non-negotiable supplements. Obviously, whenever you are taking all these supplements, it's better to keep testing and measuring things. So these are the basic, and then vitamin B12 again, as per the need and as per deficiency, is it there or not. So these
Yeah.
are the basic layer. Now, if you want to add a longevity layer to it, then you can add NMN, because it is for
Mm-hmm.
cellular energy. It increases your NAD levels. Urolithin A is one thing which is my personal favorite for mitochondrial repair, endurance, for anti-aging effects. CAKG is again my one of my favorites. CAKG again, Decode Age has one of the best ones. It is for cellular health, muscle, and longevity. So these are the basic things. And vitamin D again, I'm specializing. It's one of my
Yeah.
non-negotiable. Ideally, Dake, like Decode Age Dake, because to take with all the with vitamin D with all the fat soluble vitamins, A, D, E, K, is ideally a good approach, and it should ideally be taken with or after a small short fatty meal, so it increases the absorption. But again, it's a very individualized approach, so depends. These are some of the supplements which I would suggest everybody. But again, it's like a very personalized approach, so don't just
Yeah.
start anything blindly, I would suggest.
Exactly. Now that we have taken care of the supplement section of it, the other parallel thing is nutrition, which you have also spoken about it. But where everybody is getting confused in today's time and era, and for someone who just wants to eat well and age well, what are the few things that they must not compromise on? And your
Nutrition wise,
mantra to it.
see,
Yes.
nutrition is most likely very confusing, because we see so many Instagram reels and we start
Yes.
chasing trends instead of our personalized biology. So number one, ideally gut, do your own gut microbiome test, even nutri DNA test. But even let's say somebody wants to just start and they don't want to do any testing, so number three,
Yes.
I'll simplify it into three simple rules. Number one is prioritize protein, because muscle is equal to your longevity organ. So protein, ideally, 1 gram body per weight, everybody should be targeted if you're doing a little bit exercise. And
Hmm.
you most of us need to add supplementation for that, because it's not practically possible in our diet. Space it out like 20 15 20 grams ideally is the best. And again, it
Hmm.
depends on your gut. If you're lactose intolerant, avoid milk and all those things. So number one, prioritize protein as per your gut. Number two, stabilize your blood sugar. So energy stability. Don't eat foods which spike sugars for you, because sugar is clearly inflammatory. It is helping your bad bacteria grow. Number three is eat whole foods and eat variety of foods, because gut health is not is true gut health is good gut microbiome diversity. So the more number of colors, more number of variety of products, whole foods we add over the week, that is better. So vegan, keto, if these like all nothing works, the best diet is not the trendiest, it is the most sustainable for your personal biology.
Yes. So now that I think we have covered almost all the aspects, I just want to talk about one thing that I think more or less everybody who has come here for, and they want a sum up. So if somebody is closing this tab right now and they want to go with an action plan, what would they actually hold on to from today's session for the next 6 months or 3 months at least?
See, simple things. I gave 5 points for your physical body. Let's start
Yes.
with your physical body, and then at least take the sixth point, which is for the emotional body. These six, I would suggest, are the pillars for you to start working today on your action plan, and then we can slowly build up from there. My basic framework includes ideally 20 parameters, which is simplistic, holistic, and scientific, and which everybody can work on. So I'll repeat the five important things which you can do and you should do for your physical body fitness, or the earth body, I say. Number one is cellular hydration. Keep a conscious note of your cellular hydration level, because whatever supplements you are taking, whatever diet you are taking, if your cellular hydration is suffering, then you're not absorbing most of it, and you're getting more inflamed in a nutshell. So cellular hydration, you can include devices like molecular hydrogen and add more energy to your cellular hydration. But the main important thing is we should not drink water only when we are thirsty. We should keep sipping our water. That is why carrying a water bottle next to is non-negotiable. Number two is gut. So we talked about gut microbiome diversity. I'm not getting again deep into it. So we need to
Yeah.
ideally eat in according to our own gut, and then according, even supplementation depends a lot, because many people, some things suit somebody, something doesn't. So, and even protein intake, everything all depends on your gut health. So we, if your
Hmm.
gut is giving signals like bloating, acidity, constipation, anything, then you need to be do your basics right, understand your gut and eat according to your gut, because those foods will be truly anti-inflammatory to you. Number three is your muscle. So people who start caring about muscle strength and mobility, my is like, after 30, muscle health declines rapidly. VO2 max declines rapidly. Your metabolism slows, and VO2 max here is crucial. So it reflects how efficiently our body uses oxygen, and it is one of the strongest predictors for longevity. So your lifespan is literally written in your muscle mass and your VO2 max. So these are the third and fourth which need to you work. Build a schedule with 3 days you need to work on your VO2 max. So some endurance activity, be it walking, brisk walking, running, cycling, anything. Your heart rate, again, without measuring things, without wearing a wearable gadget, you cannot, because most people, they go for a morning walk, right? But they don't even go in their zone one, or forget about zone two. If you're like walking, strolling outdoors, you may like it. But if you're not going in your zone one, at least, like that is above 100 for most people, then you, that is not getting really the benefits. You are just getting maybe 10-20% of the benefits. So you
Yeah.
need to work on your VO2 max. It's a number which you can work. Even if you are at 90 and you want to start now, you can still work on it and increase that marker. And muscle health is non-negotiable. People say, I do yoga, I do running, I don't do muscle, but that is, sorry, non-negotiable. You have to do, start small, start today. And number
Hmm.
five was sleep. So recovery, we have spoken about. You can optimize it with adding supplements. And number six, which we turn gears into our water or our emotional body, is our blue mind and the red mind, or the balance between what kind of line we are living. We need to be in more of a parasympathetic driven state, or blue mind. Do not need, ask yourself 4 times a day. Take this literally as a non-negotiable thing from me, and just ask a simple thing 4 times in a day, space it out, just ask yourself, am I in the blue mind or am I in the red mind? And if you are in the red mind unnecessarily about a thing which you cannot do right now, you can do it later, 6 months later, that's not, no point. Then you ideally, so for me, I do surgeries, I do running, I don't usually go into my red mind. So I just for my run to start, I do obviously I need to switch on a little bit of my red mind or my sympathetic drive, but then I enter flow state and I'm in my blue mind. Like it's very effortless. Same is with surgery.
Hmm.
Surgery is a important skill. So while performing surgery, my red mind is on, but usually I enter flow and then things flow effortlessly. So it, you can also train yourself by ice baths, by cold plunges, by working on your resilience. And HRV, I already told, is a report card of your nervous system. You can measure it and you can improve it, and it depends so much on your recovery. So let's keep this as basic parameters for most people to work on. And if you work on these six, you are meant to improve.
Yes. Since you have mentioned, just one last question. Since you have mentioned about the red mind and blue mind, and I just wanted to understand the mental and cognitive health. How do you keep your, mind sharp and avoid brain fog?
See, again, this is a beautiful question. See, number one thing, if you are suffering from brain fog, is fix your sleep timing. So this is the most crucial thing, because most people say I'm busy, but however busy you are, I'm not saying you sleep at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, but make a consistent sleep routine. Because your mind, your gut, everything works when we sleep. Our gut health, our healing, our immune system healing, our nervous system, our liver, everything is working. So if we keep confusing our body's various system by someday sleeping at 11, someday sleeping at 2, someday waking up 6, someday waking up at 9, then that's
Uh,
not the ideal way. Sleep, you fix
yeah.
your sleep timing. That is sleep, like you may sleep someday less or more, but more or less fix your timing. Increase protein, we already discussed, and start strength training. These all three things will help you stay focused also. For
Yeah.
mental thing, keep learning new things. Neuroplasticity is the main thing which you need to keep doing. there is one mental body biohack free is CO2 tolerance training. Here, it's a very thing which nobody in the longevity across the world is actually talking about is CO2 tolerance training. So you need to just breathe and after inhale and or after exhale, hold your breath. If you can hold only for 20 seconds and after 20 seconds, there is this mental unrest, calm, agility. Oh my, I'm getting
Yeah.
panicky. So that is your
Hmm.
weak CO2 tolerance. So after 20 seconds, what really happens? Your body doesn't crave oxygen. It is missing your CO2 tolerance. It is how your body is reacting to the CO2 pressure building up. And it's a mental game. You can train your activity. And if you slowly by doing Wim Hof breathing, you can train yourself. If free YouTube videos are, do start with 10 minutes a day. And from a 20-second breath hold, you can slowly increase in 1 week. I promise you, if you do it judicially just for 10 minutes, you will take it to 1 minute. And then you will automatically become so low CO2 tolerances when you cannot hold your breath more than 20 seconds. High CO2 tolerances when you can hold your breath over 1 minute. So if your CO2 tolerance is high, you are mentally more relaxed, calm, you don't panic under stress. If your CO2 tolerance is low, you panic unnecessarily and you go into your red mind very often. So this is a
Okay.
hack to always stay in your mental peak performance.
Yeah. Since you have mentioned this, one more follow-up question is that, I mean, I am somebody who has gone through this whole process of, oh, I need to work out, do strength training, eat well, sleep well, but it's very difficult to build a routine and stick to it. So I'm
Hmm.
sure to come to this level of discipline, you had your own learning curve, right? You made your own mistakes. So what were the few mistakes that stand out for you as well, which
Like
I think yeah.
stacking supplements randomly. So the like there is one this is one common mistake that we take keep stacking and like slowly you need to understand your body. And one common mistake which I was doing is constantly so your body initially takes it because I'm healthy by God's grace, so you keep doing, so don't get burned out. Because recovery is one thing which like I also in my longevity journey now I have like nailed it, but again it has to be an everyday process. And recovery is one thing which initially I also struggled. And so again with this thing, I'll give you a very important insight. For example, Whoop is an amazing gadget which you can understand what strain levels body you need to. And we need to understand that the stress is different from strain. Strain is the effort which we need to give every day for our physical health. Okay, so Whoop gives you a optimal strain limit, and then there has to be recovery days. This is one mistake which I had been doing because I was always on high on energy, and I kept running every single day of my life. That's wrong. You need to give recovery days.
Yes, I think by that we have come to the Yes, I think by that we have come to the end of our question and answer round. But sorry, in the beginning of the question and answer round. So, what we are doing is we are opening the conversation for everybody on the call. So, anybody has any questions which we have not answered as of now, you can definitely put it on the chat box, and our team is going through all the questions, and we will try to answer as many questions as possible. I will try to ask as many questions as possible to Dr. Arpit
I
on
will
this call.
here give like my before we take on the questions.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't outsource your health to others. Understand
Hmm.
your body, measure it, and then build it step by step. Longevity is not a shortcut; it is a system, and the system which I propose to you is Earth body. I gave you already pointers for the Earth body. Then water or the emotional body. We need to understand our emotions, and then we need to work on your air or mental body. I gave you a brilliant biohack to the CO2 tolerance, train on your breath holding time. And then the fire body or the spiritual body, here is
Yeah.
fasting. Here sunlight is non-negotiable. There's one thing which I already stressed is sunlight. To understand and to getting sync with our own circadian biology, we need to first of all understand our circadian rhythm. And many people love to wake up in the morning, many people love to wake up in the evenings. So or late low, so that we need to be tuned with our nervous system, with our circadian rhythm. And that starts when you see phone, sun before phone. That's what I always say, sun before phone. And so these are some non-negotiable things. Movement was a natural part. So like happy to dive into some questions now.
Yeah, so we are waiting for some time. We are taking as many questions as possible. However, my team has gone through most of the questions and they have figured out few questions that has been repeated multiple times, which is
Okay.
one question is, does NMN pose any potential risk related to cancer, particularly in terms of promoting the growth of unhealthy or abnormal cells? And how much NMN should one be taking?
See, NMN, basically oral NMN increases NAD levels. NAD is your energy fuel of your cell. So NAD supports both healthy and also in some studies, some potential cancer cells. But current reality is that no strong human evidence suggests that NMN causes cancer. So like if
Mhm.
you are suffering from cancer or you are high risk candidate for cancer, then take it cautiously or you can avoid it also. So, but uh, there is no long-term clearance that NMN does cause cancer and no long-term clearance saying that NMN is super. But I personally believe in NMN and it's a good to start NMN at basic dose of 500. And then if you so you will feel it after 15 days you will feel more energetic difference level, then you can slowly increase it to 1000. So if you're healthy and then 500 to 1000 is a reasonable dose, and if cancer history or risk is there, then ideally
Yeah.
be cautious. NMN, I would say I already didn't include it in my core foundation stack. So it is not an essential, it is an advanced tool which you should use it ideally cautiously.
Perfect. Another question, Dr. Ankita asks, how to support a body that is in constant inflammatory state?
See, uh, that is a very common condition. So constant inflammatory, we have been talking everything you need to do. If your body is in inflammatory state, then your body is in your chronic sympathetic overdrive state. So you need to do testings. You need to do inflammatory markers. You need, instead of directly jumping on anti-inflammatory supplements, there is a long list. Quercetin. There are so many things people keep on taking. Curcumin is a non-negotiable, one of the best anti-inflammatory supplements which usually suits everybody, and it's again good. Just taking haldi in our diet usually doesn't give it, because true curcumin benefits you get when you mix piperine, and so in a good scientific formulation and non heavy metal toxic, curcumin is a great anti-inflammatory recovery tool. But before we come to supplements, we need to understand what is the root cause of your inflammation. So that comes with understanding your gut microbiome, because you may be consuming a lot of inflammatory diet. Then you may not be sleeping well, your cellular hydration may not be well, and lots of other things. So if you are stuck in the chronic inflammation, you need to understand the root cause of inflammation. Most that time it is stuck in our diet. So that your gut microbiome and or essential sometimes is nutri DNA, because sometimes you also need to eat according to your DNA.
Yeah.
And if you're also stuck in your chronic inflammatory mode, then HRV you need to track, and you need to focus on your recovery, focus on your sleep, cellular hydration, and various other supplements which we little discussed about.
Yes, yes. This one question has come, which is very interesting, and I think we have more or less spoken about this. But this person says one person's food is another person's poison, and when it comes to nutrition and supplements, it's somewhat very much true. So, how important is personalization?
Personalize is the future. Like a personalization, this is it be inevitable. From 2 years from now, we will not be even talking about personalization. So people like in India, sadly, people are just shifting from uh, disease approach to a preventive health approach now. But I think it's already long back. We need to shift towards proactive biological awareness. And so now this is proven that because our gut microbiome differs, our glucose response variability differs, our genetics, which is not that significant, only controlling up to 20-30% of your real life, but it is still different. Your hormones are different and your circadian biology is different. So same food can give different sugar spikes in two people. So personalization is so much more important. And very shortly, I think diety having diet and switching to different diet without understanding your gut is going to stop, and personalization is going to take another step, that like, because now there are so many softwares, so many companies which I am part of, I am working, is like a, a personalized dashboard for you, which includes your wearable data, your HRV, VO2 max, HR, and resting heart rate, which we talk, your blood reports, your gut microbiome reports, your nutri DNA, and what supplements, what spiritual practices, what breath work. So everything that is the future, and I'm actually working on a lot of clients with this approach, like with a 360-degree approach and a personalized approach.
Yes. These questions have come very repetitively, considering India uh, is a state where diabetes and high BP happens like very commonly. So few people has asked what consideration should individuals with existing conditions like diabetes and hypertension keep in mind when exploring supplements, and what cautions should be taken.
See, diabetic again needs to be understand. We need to stop shifting from that my parents had diabetes, or I'm prone to be diabetic, I'll become diabetic. That genetics only control only 20%, and the rest 80% is depending on your epigenetics, and you understand your epigenetics by understanding your gut microbiome. So that is number one step. Then people have been asking about resveratrol. Resveratrol is works good for as an adjuvant for various diabetics, but it because it can improve your insulin sensitivity, but it is not a
Yeah.
magic drug. It has been overhyped too much. I love resveratrol, I'm not saying, but it is not a magic drug. And then people, for example, there was a question, client walking in my clinic yesterday. He was a diabetic and he asked me, can I take resveratrol, quercetin, and fiestin combined? There was some comments, so that is why I'm mentioning about that. So resveratrol is good. It can improve insulin sensitivity, but it's not a magic drug. I already told. Quercetin is an
Hmm.
anti-inflammatory, generally safe in moderate dose, so good to combine with. Fiestin, which is like not enough human data for routine use, but it is experimental senolytic drug. So
Yeah.
that again, ideally need not be incorporated with a supplement. You can incorporate a 24 hours fast. That will trigger your cellular autophagy so much. So I like I'm a big fan of supplements, but even I go for things which you can do naturally also. So
Yeah.
for diabetics, again, there is a set of gut bacteria. For obese people, again, we need to start with our gut microbiome, because if you eat anti-inflammatory food according to your diet, you can even reverse diabetes. And it's not no more just in Ayurvedic clinics where diabetes is being reversed. Like now, with
Yeah.
understanding deep knowledge about gut microbiome and working with berberine. Berberine is a great supplement which has potentially, for most of the longevity client, has replaced metformin as and the benefits with berberine, and it gives you great for chronic energy also and chronic. So overall, diabetics, you need to go again with the same 360 approach and understand and eat according to your gut microbiome.
Perfect, fantastic. On this note, I also want to ask, since you have spoken so much about supplement as well, so how do we stack supplements?
See, again, stacking supplements is quite complicated and quite personalized. So first of all, in the morning, I will give you my very simple routine, but it's quite complicated. So I
Okay.
usually I do modified citrus pectin. This is a very hidden supplement which very few people is about. It's give overall immune health. It has, as you know, from the comes from citrus pectin. So it's great for your fiber and great for your gut health also. That I take first thing in the morning. Then I follow up half an hour later with NMN. I don't take resveratrol on most days. I do CAKG and I do NMN, CAKG, magnesium I take in the night. So start in the morning, NMN, CAKG, and urolithin A. These are my non-negotiable for the morning. Then after a gap, I usually one thing which I was doing wrong earlier was I used to do endurance training empty food, but my body type has become amazingly fit. My body percent of fat is just 13%. So now I usually to take my keto collagen protein in the morning with MCT. That gives me a good energy fuel to run and to do my activities. post my run, if I or my mild cardiovascular activity, I have my creatinine, that is my non-negotiable, is there. And then post that I have I love about you were talking about brain fog, so that is my afternoon stack where I stack omega 3. I take phosphatidylserine. B12, mine is very on the higher side, so I usually don't do it. And also before post breakfast, I usually take high dose of DAKE, or like vitamin D3 with K2, but at least 5,000 international units. And yes, 5,000 international unit with up to 200 amount mcg of K2 is absolutely safe for most people. But again, you need to keep measuring it 3 to 6 monthly to understand that it's not going overboard. Vitamin D is one molecule which you need 30 to 100 is a normal range, right? But
Yeah.
most people it becomes 30, 40, 50. I would say it is low optimal. You need to make it
Okay.
80 to 100 is the ideal range. And even if you touch hydrogen 100, vitamin D will never give you toxicity unless it will go beyond 150 to 200. And very
Okay.
few clinical indications of vitamin D toxicity. And so vitamin D is a supplement, as I already told in my core foundation, is non-negotiable. So you need
Hmm.
to have it more, and you need to keep and you will notice your immune system levels, your energy levels. You will not feel ill, allergy, dengue, malaria, anything you will do not catch if you're vitamin D. You can notice it for yourself. I have a clear data for myself and all my patients. Uh, People who died in COVID, 80% of people were vitamin D deficient. That is a very powerful study which you can Google, and that's
Yeah.
that clearly says. So then in my afternoon stack I was told you about high dose omega. Ideally, you can even space out omega between two doses. So you need to take up to 2 to 4 grams. Start with minimum 2 grams EPA plus DHA. Choose a good brand, and like taking 300 600 of omega is a joke for your body, so please don't do that.
Hmm.
And towards the night, one of various protocols which I follow is magnesium is non-negotiable. I sometimes take ashwagandha to reduce my cortisol levels higher, because usually my
Yeah.
day is quite high. And then CoQ10 also towards the day ending I take. And I add some reishi, like a mushroom extract that helps me boost my REM sleep. This is my overall basic protocol. And
Hmm.
obviously, I keep changing it, I keep measuring it, I keep tweaking it.
Yes. So, yeah. So, Dr. Arpit, I think we almost reached the end of today's webinar. So, everybody listening, we'll take just last two questions. So, anybody wants to ask any question, you can put it on
And
the
then,
chat
like I would
box.
tell for everybody, there have been so many questions for any people who have not been able to take questions. Please feel free to connect on our social media, my Instagram, and you can
Yeah.
drop in the question there, and I can do happily, because again, it's a to give your answer in just one line is like a kind of a disrespect to your question.
Yeah.
Like, let's do a proper consultation and then give you personalized thing. Somebody talked about phosphatidylserine, so there is that will go very depth, but that is but again, brain biohacking. So if brain health pyramid towards the end, I'll give you a secret. Level one, if you are talking about brain peak performance, I am into brain peak performance. I do flow state. Is number one. Level one is sleep, exercise, stable glucose, and stress control. You need to do some things. Raise your cortisol level in the morning, because you need that for high energy. And then after you have your morning exercise, add a ice bath. It'll bring your cortisol level down, and it'll also increase your temperature cycle to give you more energy. Do infrared sauna session in the evening to bring your temperature down for sleep. Level 2 is nutrition. We already spoke protein, omega 3, B12 also sometimes can help you for your cognition. And level 3 supplements like creatinine, all not just for muscle, for your brain. Magnesium is non-negotiable. CoQ10 you can add, and urolithin A is a great adjuvant which I personally believe in.
Yes. So I think we are actually running out of time. So the thing is that you can obviously reach out to Dr. Arpit, or you can reach out to us through our social media handles. Also, I just wanted to mention Dr. Arpit is part of our community, close-knitted community, and the links are in the chat box. So if anybody has any other question, you can definitely join the community and you can ask those questions over there as well. Okay, so we will take the last question, Dr. Arpit, and the question is, since you mentioned about exercise, I just wanted to understand, should morning exercise should be in like fasted state, or it should be, like it's, is it going should we do it in empty stomach or not? This is one question, and one more question I'm going to ask, so first you answer this one.
So see, it's a very important question because you need to again
Yeah.
understand your biology. I told you I was doing this wrong, so you
Hmm.
need to understand. Ideally, you need to follow your. For example, intermittent fasting is trending these days, right? So
Yes.
make one routine which you can follow for life.
Hmm.
Like longevity is not a thing which you do crash dieting, do weight reduction in 6 months, and then optimize. Optimization day begins from the beginning. So for many people it works, empty stomach exercising works great. For many people it does not. So I cannot give
Hmm.
this answer in a generalized way because the
Yes.
general answer does not exist. It is a very specific thing, so your body will give you for most people I like it's doing exercise. If you do towards in the early first 1 or 2 hour of the day, that is ideal actually, because you need to increase your cortisol levels towards the morning. Okay,
Hmm.
so that is ideal to do empty stomach, because you continue with your intermittent fasting. You can have your
Yeah.
black coffee and other supplements, but not break your fast. But
Yeah.
for most people, if you're not able to do like full reps, for example, if you're doing muscle and if you're
Hmm.
struggling on your max reps, then you
Hmm.
need to fuel yourself
Yeah.
before working out. So it's again very specific.
Yeah, wonderful. So this is, I'm really sorry everybody, but this is the last question we will take. So Alistair wanted to know about how to start with NMN and how much should one should start with, especially focusing on cognitive health.
See, cognitive health, even spermidine is a good supplement which Decode Age makes. That also you can explore. So, NMN is great and works a lot for many people, but it is for mainly cellular resilience and cellular energy, not just for brain health. So, if you're focusing for only for brain health, you can connect with me. We can discuss on for spermidine. Even phosphatidylserine is a very underused and very under talked about for brain cognition. Lion's mane extract you can add. But for NMN, I already gave. It's a good thing for most people to start if you're wanting to start first thing in the morning, ideally. And 500 mg is a good starting point. Have for 500 mg for at least 2 to 3 weeks and feel the difference. And then you can slowly increase it after a month to 1000 mg. That is pretty safe. And you can go around it. That's the answer for that, a generalized answer.
Yeah, wonderful. So we have come to the end of today's webinar, and what a
There are
wonderful
so many
webinar.
questions. So, like anybody questions who
Yeah.
we have not been able to answer, please feel free to reach out, drop DM on our Instagram. I also dropped my
Yes.
WhatsApp number. But
Mhm.
guys, please be a little patient. I will, if you drop me a WhatsApp, I will surely answer your question, but you'll have to give me some time. Thank you so much,
Yes,
everybody.
that's
For
why
staying.
I'm saying if they can join the community, there are
Yeah,
also so many
that
doctors over
because so
there.
many, yeah, exactly. Come and like in longevity, it's always about community. In the end, I would say that uh, we, in the pursuit of longevity, we often chase the newest molecule, which is the new drug, which is the new supplement, the latest tech. I have been to the world. I've been traveling the world at speaker at 20 international countries already. The real
Hmm.
health span is not hacked, and there is no one magic bullet answer, one special drug. It is harmonized. So sync with your biology, flow with your breath, respect your mitochondria, and honor your gut. These are my four favorite lines. I'll repeat once again. Sync with your biology, understand your biology, flow with
Hmm.
your breath, respect your mitochondria, and honor your gut. The future of medicine isn't just about treating disease, it's about restoring your own personal rhythm.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Dr. Arpit. And I mean, I have, I think, spoken enough about the community, and we have mentioned it in the chat box as well. And also, please, everybody, feel free to reach out to Decode Age or Dr. Arpit. But other than that, I also want to mention this entire webinar has been recorded, and also the YouTube channel is going to be on the chat box as well. So if anybody has missed any part of the webinar, please go through it if needed, and again reach out to us. Other than that, thank you so much. One last time I want to thank you, Dr. Arpit, for agreeing to do this, and what a wonderful webinar it was. I think even for myself, I have learned so much from this webinar. And yeah,
The
so
important thing is for everybody not just to learn and listen, but start
hmm,
implementing. And that's where you have to tune in. So the final suggestion before we go, first 2 hours of your day and last 2 hours of your day, do
yeah,
not try and touch your phone. Do not go into your task-based network. Stay in your default mode network, or ideally stay in more of your blue mind. Don't go in red mind at least first 2 hours in the night, and for first 2 hours after waking up, and last 2 hours. This alone will be game changing, and then you can first 2 hours you can do movement, muscle, so many things which we discovered, and then be in your sharpest cognitive state. And ideally, try and incorporate a flow activity in the morning and in the evening. It can be reading, it can be running, it can be doing your favorite thing, it can be hugging a tree, it can be going near the water and doing whatever yoga, meditation. I do underwater meditation, and that's very soon you will see that growing globally, because water is the most essential part. And that's why I've been stressing again and again on not supplements, but the blue mind over the red mind. God bless you,
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, so before you go, Dr. Arpit, so I just one last thing I wanted to mention, because after this webinar, I think everybody would have this question is like, where do I actually begin? So we have worked with Dr. Arpit to put together a personally recommended supplement stack based on everything we have covered today, and you will receive the link shortly in the email you registered with. So keep an eye on your inbox as well.
Okay, perfect, guys.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Arpit, and thank you everyone who has joined today's call. We are glad you could be part of today's conversation. Stay connected with us. We are coming up with more such webinar, and yeah, hope we'll see you all over there as well. Thank
Okay.
you. Have a great day ahead, everybody.